we hear the term dirt poor. You were born dirt poor.
Yeah.
You say that your father was the hardest working man you ever knew in your life, and still you recall the first time you ever saw a man cry. He wept because there was not food.
Yeah, he did. He was working for $1 a day, and he was working sun up to sundown. Before sun up, he milked. I think it was over 20 head of cattle, and when he came in the evening, he had a lot of work to do. He just. But you know, the thing about it, everybody we knew was just like that, except the people we worked for. You know, and I saw my dad. I mean, he was the kindest man you ever met, and he did. He had his head in his hands. He was crying. My mother was taking us out the door to go find something to eat, and that was the first time I ever saw linoleum. I thought that was about the greatest thing I ever saw was a linoleum, and it probably was an ice box, or it could have been because there was electric lights in it. It could have been a refrigerator. But I don't know. That had to be in about 1940, somewhere along there. It was me and my little brother, Tommy, that she took down there. It's about a mile away. And the man was real kind. And I don't think I had seen, you know, of course, dishes like that. But you know what? As I look back on that, everybody we knew, my cousins, they were worse off than we were, you know, if you can imagine that. And we lived in where it was a dirt floor. You know, but I remember Mama sweeping a dirt floor. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I go back to that because there are a number of stories in the book that really, in the early phases of the book, that really deal with how tough things were and how difficult it was for your family to overcome. You talk about your grandparents and one who was sort of a role model for you, who drove a truck and drank. And
Grandpa Shipley, you know, I got in an awful lot of trouble because I said something in the book, you know, and it's talking about his drinking. Now, my mama and my aunts got mad at me because they thought nobody in Littlefield knew that Grandpa drank. Everybody knew Grandpa drank. You know, I mean, he was the guy who would get drunk, and if they give him any trouble, he'd put his hand around a gas pump and whip half of the police department. They even called me one time and said, "What are we going to do with your grandpa?" And I was in Tennessee at the time, and I said, "You best leave him alone, because you ain't going to win." I think Grandpa taught me to cuss, which is not a very good thing, but all right. But, you know, he had a way about him. He had a swagger, and the way he talked. When he cussed, it just didn't bother you that bad because it just seemed like it just slid right by. He and Grandma loved each other so much. But Grandpa was strong, and now he did his drinking, but he never got drunk when and spent all of his money on booze. He had money for food in the house. Everybody had food, and everybody was fine. And he'd go get drunk on old Cooter Brown.
You said that in the book. In those words, he got drunk on Cooter Brown.
Yeah, that was an old saying. You know.
Now, I just have to tell our viewers that this book you worked with you worked with Lenny Kaye on this book, and Lenny Kaye put it in your own words. And as you say, you have known for a long time how to cuss, and there are a few cuss words in the book. And I know we're on educational television in many stations, so I'm going to refrain from repeating verbatim every word you say. But there is you're talking about pulling cotton, and where the term high cotton came from. Yeah. And I never knew. I've said many times I feel like I'm in high cotton, but I never knew until you told me what high cotton was.
Yeah, it's easier to pull.
That's right.
You know them little old bitty ones down there. Jessie, she came from Arizona, and they have cotton there. But
your wife Jessie, Jessie Colton.
Yeah, and it's up this high, and it's a lot easier to pull.
But you didn't like to pull it short or long. And you say in the book when you were 16 years old, you said, "I didn't plant this stuff." Well, you say it.
Well, I said, "I didn't plant this stuff, and I ain't going to pull it up."
And stuff is not exactly the word you use.
No, I didn't. But you don't know how bad it is, I mean, like, you can work in a coal mine. You can work anywhere, and it's all hard, hard work. But to me, that may be harder than any of it, because you're sitting there, it's free, and you could take off running, and nobody could stop you and all this stuff, but you can't.
For the words I manifest, they will scold you and mold you. Well, I impress upon you the fact that I use my tact that rhyming, proclaiming, and chill while I attract that girl you're with. I got a sincere quality. I give her all of me, cause you're too small to be.
Yo, what's going on, family? NPC The Game live from Taiwan, the real District 13. How's it going? Good to have you. A little later than we scheduled, but we're here now. I appreciate everyone in the house. Smoking Spaceman. What's going on? Good to see you, man. They said they're here for the spells, right? The spells. What's going on, Markella? So you raised some cowboys and cowgirls, yeah? Yeah, well, I think my mom raised a cowboy over here, right? Yeah, today's her birthday in the wilderness of North America over there, January 3rd. It's 4th of July here in Taiwan. Everybody's here. Wiccan, what's going on, my friend? Wheels, I was talking to her in the DM a little while ago. Sending all my love, all the healing energies, all the prayers for Wheels. Yeah. I said Markella in the building. Appreciate you. All donations are welcome and greatly appreciated. You can donate by Super Chat, Super Sticker, membership, and buy me a coffee link. RT, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, shout out to the great Waylon Jennings and all our parents, fathers, mothers, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody, friends. Salute to you, Smoking Spaceman. Yeah. Yeah, major prayers up for Wheels. She took a hard fall, you know. I'm happy she's okay. I mean, it was more serious, though. But damn, Wheels, we need you to heal up. So, RT's doing good. I'm good too, my guy. And today's stream is Buffalo Bill versus the Hebrew Israelites. Words are spells. You created your matrix before you were born, and how to escape. So let's get to it. Manifest. Shout out to the Guru and Gangstar where you're listening to. Last time I saw him in Paris. Last time I was in Paris, and he put on a great show. But he passed away a couple years ago. So rest in peace to Gangstar and the Guru. The good die young. Sometimes, right? So shout out to everybody. Thanks for being here. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Yeah. So you're welcome to the stream. And all you beautiful people and some of you weird, beautiful weirdos. I appreciate it. It means a lot for you to come and build with me. All you awakened artists, word wizards, and timeline travelers, welcome back to the channel. And it means a lot for you guys being here because there's a lot of different things going on. A lot of drama going on, and a lot of meta stuff going on in the panel verse. And I'm glad you're here where we can at least attempt to try to learn something about ourselves, how reality is created, and what we can do to become better people or humans. Shout out to already off the bat, just a little something to add to your tip. I appreciate that, RT. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you, brother. Well, that is very kind. Appreciate that.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or kiss it or bow or what. I feel like breakdancing.
Making me feel like breakdancing. Shout out to Cleo McDowell from the great movie Coming to America, Eddie Murphy. So yeah, thank you, RT. Appreciate it. So tonight we're going to go deep and deeper and deeper and deeper than the algorithm will usually allow. We're diving into how we built the matrix with our own words. Yep. And before we were even born, right? We're building it. And we're going to talk about how language is the coding system of our reality, how our words are spells. What else? How they trap you. They can trap you here. And most importantly, how to break out and level up on your consciousness. And so grab some tea, grab your journal, drop a brain emoji in the chat if you're ready for the truth. All right. So, but there's always a little, started off with an appetizer, a little drama. Mystics say what plagues the human mind and prevents our species from advancing is we have deviated from our evolutionary path in the pursuit of materialism and comfort. I heard that. Look at this. And I'll give you that. And this is what I saw this video. I thought everyone talks about the Hebrew Israelites and whatnot. Thank you for that comment, Smoking Spaceman. Check out this. What I saw. Hebrew Israelite, they confront I think it's like a transgender person or Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Talking about language.
Well, what they gonna do? Because when they do what they're gonna do, Lord gonna do what He's gonna do. And in the process of all of that,
I thought this was a skit when I saw this. These guys. I mean, usually you hear them yelling at people on the street and stuff, and chastising them and preaching to them. The Hebrew Israelites, this particular group of them, but they were just talking, and this person is just saying "f you," just staring at them. I thought it was a damn skit or something, like comedy skit, but it's not.
the Lord gonna use them to mow down the wicked 2/3 that we prophesied to, and they make a TikTok video talking shit. Yeah. That's how bad the Lord is. You can't beat the Lord, man, no matter what. First Samuel 2 and 3 says.
He said, wait, what's that? Hey, shout out to Marathon Kev in the building. Hey, that makes me happy, Kev, you're here, especially with all the other drama going on. You are a real one, my friend. You get the link whenever if you want to come up. You're always welcomed, for sure. Where's my Marathon Kev?
My nigga.
Marathon Kev, you're always welcome to. Thank you for that. Very generous, my brother. Had a lot of fun building with you the other day on the Yakub stream with Joe Cool. So Marathon Kev, boom, just for you, or anyone else in the chat that wants to come up and build. Yeah, gratitude. So so they're like, what is this?
That's how bad the Lord is. You can't beat the Lord, man, no matter what. First Samuel 2 and 3 says. Watch out. No, we good. Have a good day.
Then we good.
Have a good day. We good. Hey, the Lord said, First Samuel 2 and 3. Talk no more.
I'm glad to hear that you're good, but your life is not all about you, selfish prick. I'm glad to hear that you're good, but your life is not all about you, selfish prick. Fucking faggot. Falling against God.
Wow, she called them an F word. That was a reversal of fortune. Sometimes it's the other way around.
Faggot, that's
What?
Buffalo Bill Mexon.
Can we get Ephesians 6? Somebody.
Okay, faggots.
Ephesians
See you later,
6.
faggots.
Have a good day.
Fallen against God, FAG. Fag. That's who you are.
Foreigner against God. FAG. FAG. Foreigner against God. Wow.
British cigarette. British cigarette.
British cigarette.
Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Right.
Put on the whole armor of God,
Right.
that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Right. Against the wiles of the devil, against the cunning trickery of the spiritual demon Satan. Right. Yep. Now that's perfect.
Yeah, put armor
If you-
of God. Not
If you
armor
want
of
to,
God.
disrupt something, what would you
Put
do?
Armor of God, because armor of God not gonna protect you.
And you know,
God, because armor of God not gonna protect you.
and you know what's cold? And you know what's cold about this right now? Ain't nobody up here that's new, that's listening. So the devil can draw them away.
Right.
We all here standing rooted and grounded.
Good Lord. A visit from Satan.
Did I visit per se? Now that's one display of language right there. I thought that was wild, guys. Any thoughts, or just so you guys just like, wow, what was that? Yeah. So before you were born, you were a wordsmith, right? So, and we'll go way back, not to childhood, not even to the womb, but before that. And now you got to walk with me in the concept of the soul right now. So imagine you're a soul, and you're just chilling in the spirit realm, and you're looking at this life like it's a video game character, picking their stats and their origin story, their backstory. And before we came here, many spiritual traditions believe we made agreements and contracts and chose a purpose. However, what no one tells you is we didn't do that with the clipboard and pen. We did it with our language, right? Language is vibration, and vibration is frequency, and frequency creates reality. You know, the first thing that God did in the Bible was speak. You know, frequency creates our reality, and the words you speak are spells. You know, like Smoking Spaceman was saying. That's why we call it spelling. And so before birth, we spoke our life into existence. Every limitation, every family dynamic, every challenge was encoded in word forms, right? We co-created this with God. This is the way I see it, you know. I'm just curious about how you see it too, right? So here's some of the great thinkers, what their thoughts about language and spellings and spells are. Here's the great Jordan Maxwell, what he had to say about language.
Your body, your physical body is a corporation. So when you die, you're a corpse, because when you're living, you're a corporation. Words and terms are based on maritime admiralty, the law of water. It's an extraordinary story about how governments rule the world. And unless you understand this, you're never going to figure out what's going on. Where do you find banks? You find banks on the side of a river. So what does a river bank do? It directs the flow of the current, because your currency is the cash flow, the liquid asset. And so money goes through your hands like water. No, money is water. It's the flow. As much money as you print, you've got to take some back in to make it valuable. The tide goes out, it's got to come back in. Money goes out, money comes in.
Money goes out, money comes in. What do you guys think about that? Yeah. Smoking Spaceman said Tesla said all things in life are reduced down to frequency, energy, and vibration. Absolutely. That seems plausible to me. And y'all in the chat, drop a Drop a 1 in the chat if you ever felt like you came here with a mission, but for whatever reason, you forgot about what it was when you got here. Yeah. I think about that. Yeah. And I think the as time goes on and the more I try to ground myself and slow down, I tend to make space for remembering and reconnecting what my mission was when I came here. Yeah. Jordan Maxwell used the word consequently all the time, and too frequently he was his go-to word for him to sound smart. Yeah, consequently. Yeah, it's a intellectual filler flex word. Okay, it's a wobbler for me. Jordan makes a lot of interesting points. Yeah, he does. It's one way to look about his maritime law program he lays out, decoding it. That seems very intriguing. Like it could happen. Definitely things were set in motion before we got here. And so all humans have a purpose. So I give ones for everyone, even if you don't think you have one. He's doing the work for everybody. I love it. Smoking Spaceman, yeah. He's carrying the team. He's carrying the class. Right. Let's see a little bit more what Jordan had to say. I like that. Understanding, right? Understanding the words.
You know, let me give you an example. If
my friend used to say understanding, go inside the word.
You know, let me give you an example. If you had a 2-story building, and you were going to put a lot of weight on the second floor, like printing presses or whatever, the smart thing to do was go downstairs first, get on a ladder with the building inspector,
right?
Go up through the ceiling tiles and examine the floor you're going to build on,
right?
And see if it's going to hold that kind of weight.
Right.
So what you're doing is you're standing under the floor or the foundation you're going to build on. Okay, so that's where you get understanding, because you're standing under.
To stand under something, to see if you can take the weight,
or
the
no, to see what it's sitting on, see what it's based on. So that's where we get the word understanding.
To see if we can.
To see, you need to stand under a subject. Don't just buy the subject. Go back and read the words, where they came from, what they
get
meant.
Under the subject to see if it has
Precisely,
weight.
exactly. Go to the library, and there's one of the best sets of books in any library.
What's the best? What do you think he's going to say? I thought he was going to say the Encyclopedia Britannica, but I believe he's going to say
is called the
Webster Dictionary.
The Oxford Dictionary of the English language. It's
okay. That's a book of spells, right? Just like the Psalms in the Bible is a book of spells. Wheels, I'm partially here. Okay, I'm glad you're here partially, and wherever the other part is, I hope you're at peace and healing up. Wheels, yeah, dictionary, yeah. Good to see you, Wheels. It's that RT said, consequently, use filler words to sound even more superior in the truth or intellect insight. Consequently, that is. Yeah. I mean, David Icke's, his filler word is almost an interjection, clearing his throat. And I remember my teacher, Aylis Kafis, he said before, like David Icke, because he's speaking about things that aren't in his knowing, it's like more of a belief. He's going off what he believes or thinks about. Not what you know. Knowing is more kind of intimate to the core, because he's talking about all these like far off conspiracies. The body, the throat chakra, your communicating tool, your throat is kind of getting filled up with phlegm, because it knows maybe it's talking out of his ass a little bit too much. I notice when I talk about those things, a similar thing happens sometimes. You hear me got to go clear my throat, like even today, because in the end, I don't really know what's going on a surface level. On an internal, for sure, probably have a lot of answers, but these are my theories about language. Our theories about language we're speaking on, right? And David Icke and Alex Jones, and especially Jordan Maxwell, there's a theory that we think that these guys wanted to join these secret societies that they're so-called exposing. Bill Cooper and for whatever reason they weren't let in, or when they were let in, they didn't like what they saw, so they make it their mission, their life's mission, to expose these groups with their language, with their coded language.
It's a huge voluminous set. And they're large volumes, and each word that has ever been used in the English language is traced back to day one. So it's like 2 or 3 pages per word.
Wow.
And it explains where these words came from, how they were developed.
Gracie
And those words then have rooted ourselves into the subconscious. So the word we're using really is being felt deeper than the superficial
And
meaning.
you are reacting to it with your life. You're doing things every day because you think you have to. Why? Because you don't know you don't have to. You don't have to go to court. I don't care what your criminal, or what kind of a crime you committed. I don't care how big it is. You don't have to go to court.
You don't? What do you have?
No.
What if you're...
You have to you have to fill out a particular kind of form, send it to the Secretary of State, and say to the Secretary of State, I wish to settle out of court. You can settle anything out of court.
You can.
You didn't know that. Yeah. Well, you could attempt to anyway. Hopefully you can settle it with the right word combination. Use read the dictionary for fun. Okay, that's a good way to do it. Smoking Spaceman said, I rarely speak in daily life. I might say 24 words in a week. Wow. That's interesting. If you do you work remotely? You know? I'm a teacher, so I have to speak a lot. I use my words a lot. The goal is to get better and be efficient and not using so many to get my point across. Why do monks take a vow of silence? Could it be not to plague one another with their own ideas while they pursue enlightenment? For sure. That's why a lot of times, like, I took a break from streaming and podcasting live years ago because I didn't want to pollute people's mind because I was still trying to figure things out. And then a mentor of mine, they said, you know what? If you're going to wait till you feel like, like everything or whatever, it's never going to happen. So just be balanced in what you put out and what you're listening to. Listen more than what you put out. You have 2 years for a reason.
Of course. If Ford Motor Company is suing General Motors, they can settle out of court. So you won't know what they did to settle the thing because it's out of court.
Out of the water.
It's out of the water, right?
Right.
So you can settle any criminal complaint out of court. You just go through the Secretary of State and say that you want to settle this out of court.
So to sort of wrap up, is there a chance the world is going to change, that we're moving into a higher conscious? No chance.
I don't think so. I think there are individuals like yourself and others like me and others like us who are beginning to awaken, but there is no possible chance that the human race is going to wake up and figure anything out, because this kind of knowledge I'm talking about does not have anything to do with football or sports or
the mind
movie.
control.
So as long as the human race is interested in the Hollywood starlets or football or the silly sports or all this other silliness that goes on with entertainment, then the human family as a race on the earth are not going to be evolving upward. We're just going down. We're going.
What about?
And what he's saying kind of ties into what I saw today. Or was it last night or today? Because I went on this marathon with the wife, this NPC. We were watching that Studio A24. I think it's called, the artsy film house. A lot of their trailers, a lot of good movies out. But the theme, most of them looks very depressing. And one of them caught my eye because it goes along with Jordan's talking about and what Marathon Ked just said about the sovereign citizen. So the sovereign citizen plays and all sounds nice, but generally it doesn't work out in the favor of the sovereign. Yes, and there's actually a movie called The Sovereign that is out. Let's see. It came out, the trailer came out 8 days ago. Now check this out. I wonder what Paul and Slave and them have to say about this. And it seems like it's they're trying to make money, but it's also predictive programming. It's talking about a real life story about a father and son who were sovereign citizens, identified as that, and how they were how they dealt with the police. So check this out. This movie is just coming out this week, the trailer. Okay. I got you. Did you hear that? It's all numbers, just numbers on a ledger. Doesn't that sound like the kind of like the some of the videos we're watching at the moment right now, what we're talking about, right? What's going on here? Are you being psyoped with the predictive programming?
What about school?
I'm homeschooled.
So those two things that people don't want. The quote unquote government maybe doesn't want too many people being homeschooled or being an independent thinker, he said, or a sovereign citizen. And then they show these guns, like all the guns, and to make people nervous about it, even though some cultures especially in the South and the Midwest, they grew up around guns, so it's not a big deal. But you get a northerner or someone from Cali, like where I'm from, they may see this and be like, "Oh my God, he has guns." In my opinion, like he got to be yelling at the cop in the sun to take that rifle and take out one of those cops with a headshot. Yeah, July 11th, baby. Damn. Wow. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there, huh? We're just talking about words, just talking about what letters and that spell, right? So yeah, that's that movie trailer if you want to check it out later. Yeah, shout out to the donations. All donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you, Markella. Appreciate you.
Why don't you just take my blood?
Yeah, so smoking spaceman. Two things I know: all humans are subject to fear and desire. These things are the only things that motivate a mind to physically act. Fear and desire. That sounds like the primal brain, the old part of the brain, the snake, the reptilian brain. So when people like Jordan Maxwell would talk about my contempt, my throat. I'm going out of what I know. Actually, this is more beliefs. When people start talking about, anyway, when people talk about when we want to be locked into our desires, that's more of our reptile brain, right? And then when David Icke and Maxwell talk about the lizard people and all that, I think that we're talking about people who are tapped into their lizard brain, or that the majority of the earth, the 85% deaf, dumb, and blind, are locked into their primal brain. They use that against them, and they're not trying to hit people with their frontal cortex, which would probably represent more critical thinking. Yeah, man. Desires. So let's see what Dick Gregory had to say. The great Dick Gregory. I like him. Rest in peace. A lot of these elders are gone, but not forgotten.
Call work. Come on, man. That ain't no bullshit.
I'm just saying, I think a lot of people are being brainwashed.
It ain't got nothing to do with them. In here, if you say I'd like to go to Paris this year, but I can't afford, you just told 75 trillion cells to see to you don't get to Paris. Huh? That's who you are. And when you find that out, when you find that out, they told me I had the worst cancer you can find.
Told him he had the worst cancer you can find.
I told my son, Doc, I said, don't show that to your mother, because after your sister did it. Because I gave her the report. But they do this. And she said, you better get out of here. I ain't going nowhere.
He said, I'm not going nowhere.
No, I'm not going nowhere.
I know it.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it. He knows. It's a difference between knowing something and believing it.
Hope don't work. You never heard no rich, powerful motherfucker say hope. Hope I'll win the war. That's the truth. The real folks know they're going to win the war before they start.
Yes, sir. Hope is dope. That's what my homie used to say. Supreme. RT says Hollywood to the rescue to shape and mold the public. Right. Well, that trailer is planting seeds of the future fear and skepticism of the sovereign citizen banner waivers. Yeah, definitely doing that. Definitely doing that. I'm glad you could see it. You could see it, right? I mean, on one thing too, it's like a double-edged sword. It's gonna introduce people to sovereign citizen, that way of life, that mode of being, but it's also gonna turn people off to it too, make them scared, marketing fear. I can't even give examples, but it's something I can logically reduce to fear or desire. Let's see. Yeah, hope is dope. You like that? Hope is dope. Yeah. And the more your words control your reality, they definitely control your reality. Because on some respect, language is the matrix, and how you spell out these words can trap you in the matrix, in your own matrix. Because here's where it gets wild. Once you were born, we start learning the language of this world, and however, the language isn't neutral, it's coded. Every word we learn carries history, judgment, and also cultural spells from many years past. I heard somebody say, I hate coding, right? Coding, but we're literally always coding this reality, because this matrix we're living in is based on code, a certain kind of code, right? Some examples of this would be success equals money and status, right? That's like a spell. Failure, that word. Failure equals shame. That's a spell. Normal, being normal, equals conformity. That's a spell. Crazy equals visionary in disguise. That's another spell, right? Because I mean, you just say success, you're like, be successful, but really, as we know from the black pill and other modes, success is money and status. In this 3D world we're living in, failure is being shameful. Being normal is conforming to the weak standards of society. And when they call you crazy, your ops, you're usually what you are a visionary in disguise. It just goes on and on. These words become like invisible walls in your brain, and you stop asking big questions because the words don't allow it. And the matrix isn't made of steel and wires. It's made of your thoughts, and thoughts are made of words, and words trap perception. Let me show you how words trap perception. Let me show you this. Check this out. Tell me what you think about this, chat. How do you think words trap perception? Give me some examples. Words are a container for power. You choose what kind of power they carry.
Your words are spells, and your thoughts are infected. The words you use every day are holding you back from the life you want. But it's not your fault. You've been programmed by society's language to live within invisible boundaries. But what if you could reprogram your mind with the right words? In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to harness the vibrational power of language to manifest your dreams. We'll show you how to channel words with intention, creating the reality you desire. It's time to reclaim your power as the main character in your life. Your transformation starts now. Before that, have you ever felt like your life is on autopilot? Like the goals you're chasing, the beliefs you hold, and even the words you speak were all set up before you even had a say. If you've ever felt
the words we speak have been set up even before we had a say. 100% NPC. That's why I wrote earlier that we're all plagued by the mysticism of those that came before us. Yes. RT, not going along with the crowd, even when the stakes are high and the crowd thinks it makes no sense. We get all labeled in the problematic troublemakers who don't play nice with others, right? You don't play nice with other. Yeah. But it's funny enough, like with the consensus reality people, you maybe don't play nice. However, because we can't help ourselves. We have to let it be known we're the ones that get in trouble by the teacher. We're asking more questions or whatever, or correcting them. But like among our tribe of people who are trying to figure out like what the truth, quote unquote, the truth is, capital T, we do play along nice. Like here, we're just building, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Hello, Lawrence. Good to see you, my friend.
The words you speak were all set up before you even had a say. If you've ever felt trapped in a reality that doesn't quite fit, this could be why. Your words are controlling you. But here's the part nobody ever told you. The very words you use every day are quietly wiring your mind, shaping your world, and setting limits on what you believe is possible. And it's been happening since the moment you learned to speak. And this isn't just a passing thought. It's a carefully guarded secret. For centuries, powerful people have known how language creates reality. Words aren't just communication. They're programming tools for the mind. By simply choosing certain words, you can either open doors to success, love, and happiness, or seal yourself off in a prison of limitations. And the language you've been taught? It's built to keep you contained. This video is different from anything else you've watched. It's not just information, it's a doorway. I'm going to reveal exactly how to crack the hidden code in language that keeps people in mental cages, and teach you how to unlock the words that will let you finally break free.
Let's do it.
And there's a science behind this too. Every word, every thought sends signals in your brain that change how you see the world and what you think is possible. But 99% of people have no idea this even exists. Right now, you're part of a tiny fraction of people with the chance to break this cycle. So don't miss this. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to start rewriting your reality with words designed to bring success, joy, and freedom into your life. This isn't just a video. It's your first step toward a new life.
Yeah, thank you for that, Wicked. That's awesome. You're pretty quick at creating. That's pretty dope. Wicked made this. Hope is dope. I love the graffiti style and the colors, the rainbow psychedelic colors. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Yeah, you're saying the same thing, but I think maybe your words hit a little harder because you're in our presence right now. But you guys are both on the same track.
Imagine waking up and realizing that every belief you hold, every goal you chase, and every choice you've made was shaped by forces you never even noticed. It's like a spell was cast on you from the moment you learned to speak. And here's the unsettling truth. Language itself is a system of control, filled with hidden meanings designed to keep you in line. Every word you use, every phrase you repeat, is part of that spell. Think about the word spelling. When you arrange letters to form words, you're casting a spell. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a reminder that words have the power to create and control. Every time you spell something out, you're bringing ideas to life, giving them shape and meaning. Words, even the ones we use casually, hold hidden influence. Or take the word contract. Break it down and you get con and tract, a binding path. A contract doesn't just bring people together, it locks them into a path with rules and obligations, pretending to protect while limiting freedom. Contracts create invisible chains, binding you into agreements that are hard to escape. And consider the word human. Split it, and you get hue and man, a being of light, of energy. But that's not how society sees you. You're taught to view yourself as physical, just a body, a limited being. Yet, within the word human is a hidden reminder that you are energy, light, capable of more than you're told.
Yeah.
Even simple words like awaken carry hidden meanings. Think of awake, which is often a gathering after death. True awakening is a kind of death, a death of old beliefs, an end to blindly following the script society handed you. To awaken is to let go of the part of you that's been asleep, unaware of the language shaping your reality.
Yes, and when you first get on that wave, man, it's like waking up from a deep sleep. Because after a while, you ended up being you have the opportunity to break free from that entrapment and that you were entrapping yourself with. And you can break free from those spells and evolve your consciousness. And so you say, how do we break free? Well, by becoming conscious spellcasters. And not no woo woo. It's the spellcasters using your words, man, or spelling. Right? Don't let other people like take those words away and say this is a negative, you know. I mean, it is what it is. It's spelling, right? You can't break a spell if you don't even know you're under one. So I suggest like y'all can start like this. I'm doing it myself, fam. So watch your words like spells. Start noticing your default phrases, just like RT was talking about consequently with Jordan Maxwell. You noticed that. But start noticing for yourself your default phrases. Are they empowering or are they enslaving you? You can swap that I have to with I choose to. Swap that I'm not good at that with I'm learning that. As for like with questions and labels, who told you what's realistic? You know, who benefits from you calling yourself a failure, weird, or too much? These are spells placed on you by culture. Culture, it can sometimes is not your friend, right? Especially when you're locked into it. Once you realize and have an understanding of what culture is, a program, then you can maybe have fun with it. Reject that self-sabotaging vocabulary. Like, I get it, you want to humble yourself. It's great to be humble, but reject those statements like I'm broke. And maybe you could change that with I'm in a temporary cash phase. I'm in a temporary cash phase. I like that one. And then you can go from there. Language is from your thoughts. You're right. Language is from your thoughts. And then Smoking Spaceman says, try not to cast spells on others. Even what I've said here is a violation of what one should do. Very mindful. That's a very enlightened being. He wouldn't say that, or he or she wouldn't say that, but I'm going to say it. I'm imparting my own thoughts onto you. Think for yourself and learn how to separate the limits of language from your thoughts. Language from your thoughts. Separate that. Separate the goats from the sheep. The force of imagination exceeds everything. Yes, RT. Many of the wordsmith content creators on YouTube fall apart once they try to present their same stuff in a language other than English. So many of the dot connections fall by the wayside. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Getting you can late. Okay, you have to peel off. Okay, I was gonna ask you if you want to come up. Have a good rest of the stream. Thank you for sharing that, RT, for making it even better for the build. Sleep easy. To you and yours, happy 4th of July. Yeah, Smoking Spaceman or anyone else who want to come up and build, let's do it. It's a good one today. This is a good one, Benjamin. For you and your friends. This is a good one. Yeah. I'd say create your own new language, guys. Ben, make up your own words, your own mantras, symbols, even names if you need to. Spiritual evolution starts with new words that match your upgraded self. And just like what Smoking Spaceman is saying, silence is sacred. Real talk, man. Sometimes silence breaks most spells. When you stop reacting, stop labeling, stop defining and defending, you enter a space where something new can be created. Yeah, there's a lot of streams out there where they're talking about other people right now, right? Just think if you just stop reacting, stop labeling, right? Yeah. Hello, everyone coming in, please. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe button, share. Yeah. Thank you for all you being there. Absolutely appreciate that. Sweet Markella. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Share, man. Share. Look at this. Put the notifications on too, if you like. Let's see what people are talking about right now. Our friend Cynthia, what's she talking about?
Kind of like
I don't mean to deflect, but
No,
it goes to the
it's
point that
pretty-
you make claims and then say, "Oh, I can't tell you, but I'll tell you in the future." You never do.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you. And I'm sure you know. I'm sure Flow State, maybe in the fictional world, like you said, he has an idea.
Yeah, you're lying.
Why are you overestimating Flow State? Come on, give him
I'm
his
not
credit.
lying. I'm not lying at all. I know what Flow State is doing.
So earlier you said you did that for a reason. Of course, the audience will be able to judge for itself whether that was
Sure.
manipulation or you were lying. If, let's say, you happened to do it and you were trying to protect Lindsay, this is just all hypothetical, of course.
So, like I said, silence is sacred, right? Silence is sacred. It breaks most spells. Like, if you have a problem with people, stop reacting, stop labeling, stop defining, and so you can give space for something new to emerge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're all learning. I was there last night or 2 nights ago. Sorry, Wiccan, the principles I've developed for myself are for myself. I express thoughts in chats. I still hold on to my vocal silence. Yeah, I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. See, Lawrence has been around. He sees it, right? You just need to know when to just not say anything, right? Let's keep going after it. Oh, Mr. Crowley, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with the will.
Words cast spells. This statement is related to the belief that our words have the power to shape the reality around us, that each word carries an intrinsic energy capable of bending the physical and spiritual reality that surrounds us. This idea is based on the notion that the universe is made of vibrations, and that words, as expressions of thought and intention, resonate with these vibrations. Thus, when you speak a word, you are not just emitting a sound. Your voice becomes a spell, releasing a wave of energy that permeates the structure of reality, shaping the world around you. Have you ever felt the energy change when someone says something with emotion? This is no coincidence. Contagious joy, profound sadness, explosive anger. The vibrations of words touch our soul and resonate in the universe. They affect everything around us. Think of words as keys that can open doors to new worlds, magical tools that allow us to build the reality we desire. You can learn to manipulate these vibrations, to use your vocabulary to design the reality you wish for. This is not just about speaking positively, it's about understanding the nature of reality and understanding how we can use it to our advantage. The concept that words cast spells is deeply rooted in various mystical and religious traditions, where words, spoken or written, are seen as powerful tools for manifestation, prayer, and magical rituals. The Egyptians believed in Heka, the god of magic, and the creative force of spoken words. In ancient Greece, Philosophers like Aristotle dedicated vast studies to the art of rhetoric, examining how words influence emotions and thought. His concept of the word, logos, was seen as a divine reasoning force behind the universe, connected to the power of speech and persuasive logic. In sacred texts, such as the Bible, for example, it is said, "In the beginning was the Word," highlighting the primordial importance of the word as a creative force. In Hindu philosophy, the word, or shabda, the Sanskrit word for speech sound, is considered a fundamental force, responsible for the creation and maintenance of existence. In Buddhism, the doctrine of the mantra suggests that certain combinations of syllables possess specific energies that can be used to purify the mind and promote enlightenment. For medieval alchemists, language was seen as a key to deciphering the secret of nature and transformation.
Yeah, deciphering the transformation, right? I have to say, evolution through conscious language, the way I'm seeing it, like even right now as I'm talking to you, is involving your consciousness, which isn't necessarily about escaping Earth. It's about mastering the interface here. The interface is language, and when you realize you're the programmer of your reality, everything changes.
They believe that the correct
No more victimhood, no more blaming people, feeling hopeless.
correct understanding of letters and symbols would allow the transmutation of basic materials into noble and precious substances. To understand the power of words, one must dive deep into certain fundamental concepts. Among them are the concepts of intention and energy. Intention is like the map that guides a journey, determining the destination and direction. In esotericism, intention is the driving force behind every word we speak or thought we have.
Because you start evolving when you question the words you inherited. You create your own inner dictionary. You start speaking from the soul and not necessarily from a script.
It is the desire, the goal, or the outcome we hope to achieve. When we speak with intention, we are not just emitting sounds, we are sending a clear message to the universe about what we want to manifest. Energy, on the other hand, is the vehicle that carries that intention. It is the life force, the current that moves the intention from point A, represented by thought and desire, to point B, which is the realization or manifestation itself. Each word carries an energy charge that is influenced by emotion, tone, and conviction behind it.
Let's see commit the intention behind some of this stuff right here. I'm just using this as a comparison. I could play one of my old streams as well, but let's see the intention behind this and how words can trap you. Your own words can trap you. Let's see. Take a look.
But here, let's play it. I mean, we can definitely run it back.
I have never had a single Tarek sock account. Not a single fucking one. And you doxed me based on a 1.5 gripe that's not even real.
A 1.5 years.
I
man.
doxed you?
I was gonna say, because I was gonna say a 1.5 years, man. I was just gonna say words can trap you in yesterday's activities. But this is like Bex is saying a 1.5 years, man. A 1.5 years. That's 18 months. So words can either trap you in 18 months ago or narratives, or they can actively bring you to the next version of yourself. That's why so many ancient traditions say in the beginning was the word, right? In the beginning is always the word. That's where it starts. Because in the sense, that's all there is. That's all we're talking about.
Spoken with passion and conviction carry more energy than those spoken disinterestedly or automatically. Another fun.
Which videos? You said the video that was a live stream I was just showing you. That's actually live right now as we speak. So this has happened, right? This is literally happening right now. I was, to be fair, I was doing that shit 2 days ago, the drama, and it was the same people, and I'm not even really involved into the drama until I kind of placed myself, or I placed myself in the drama because one of those people, Tarek, he was talking about our stream, critiquing it, and I said something on my stream, and I said, okay, why don't you just come over here? I invited him to come over here. So my words entrapped me into that low vibration, those arguments and whatnot. Lawrence said, NBC, I think I'm convinced you're the only normal one on YouTube. Wow, that means a lot coming from Lawrence. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I had other people say that too, and I think that's a compliment. That's a compliment. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah. I'll give you yeah. I mean, I used to think like being called normal was like, oh man, I want to be eccentric, I want to be super cool, edge lord. But now it's like, dude, yeah. See, Gracie, I think you're right. Yeah. Thank you. This video, this live stream is probably from a few months ago, a year ago. This one currently we're watching is from a year ago. The other one's probably not from that long ago either. Yeah. Once a mind expresses an idea to another, it becomes part of reality. If those words were lies, and failure to adjure to the new reality results in the creation of existing an illusion. Whoa, deep, bro, deep. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, yo. So it's like I can picture what it looks like, a scaffolding of these words that are making like passageways for our thoughts, our narratives, right? But it's on shaky lies, a lot of it. Shaky lies. I've never seen content that expressed the ideas I've thought on my own. Right. Well, I mean, it's truly original, huh? I only put out projection healing spells. I love it, which is likening to praying, if you will. Yes, it is, miss. You are drawing on nature and the power of thought and words and energy, right? Your will tapped into that. Exactly, right, Gracie Gray? You see it. Exactly, Wicked.
Fundamental concept to understand the power of words is that of vibration. Everything in the universe, including every word we speak, vibrates at a certain frequency. This vibration is like the energetic signature of an object or thought, an echo that resonates through the cosmos. In esotericism, it is believed that similar vibrations attract. Therefore, positive words tend to attract positive experiences, while negative words can attract the opposite. The vibration.
Yeah, the positive words are letting us see things for what they truly are. I mean, well, in a positive light. Could we even say though, SS, that like, even though they're positive words, those are lies technically. Sometimes people can do a little, they call it a white lie. What do you think about that? Your thoughts on that? Huh?
Of words can affect our physical and emotional bodies, as well as our environment.
So it's kind of like you are what you eat in terms of if your thoughts are like food for thought, right? Your thoughts are like food, the content you put in your mind. So if you're having negative, low vibration thoughts, that literally can manifest into an ugly body. Or if you're having good thoughts, you can be radiating beauty. You know, shout out to Miss NPC. I agree with white lies are part of the scaffolding, as you said. Yeah, you really listen. This is good. I believe in God. I remember the Sheikh. He said that white lies are okay. It's okay to lie to your spouse sometimes, if it's for a positive reason. Let me see. XZ. Let me see if I can get that. Tell me what your thoughts on this shit is. XZ Islam. There he is, right there. There he is. There is me. It's permissible to lie in such situations. Let's see. One of my favorite sheikhs.
Is it allowed to lie? Akhi, there is a difference between lying and al-ma'arid. What is al-ma'arid? The Prophet says, إِنَّ فِي الْمَعَارِيض لَمَنْدُوحَةً عَنِ الْكَذِبِ. You can dodge the question. So if someone says to you, do you recite 7 juzu every day? You say, I recite more than one, alhamdulillah. Did I lie? No. I do recite more than one. But if you say, no, this is a lie. So likewise, I used to be, let's say, a serial killer. And someone comes to me, Sheikh Asim, mashallah, you know a lot about, guns and where to stab people. And what kind of a question is this? If I say no, I would be lying. And there's no need to lie. What to do? Act offended. What? Are you insulting me? Serious? Are you crazy? What kind of a question is this? Yahi, don't speak to me like this next time. Now everybody's afraid. I might have been a serial killer, but if you know how to bluff and to dodge the question, you did not lie. I didn't lie. Did I say I'm not? If I tell you, I have to kill you. But I did not say any of this thing. So, alhamdulillah, try your level best to dodge the question so that you don't lie. If you're cornered, خلاص يعني ما في, there is no escape. In order to protect your chastity, your identity, your iman, if there's no other reason than to lie, you can lie due to necessity, rather than expose yourself and destroy your life by that, and Allah knows best.
Chat. Let me see. All right. So what do you think about that? Like white lie. Okay. I wanted to share that. You said, I hold my doubts and pursue knowledge and verify destroy the doubts, but doubts is one thing. Not to have it right. Make sure the shit's correct. Okay, let me fix this. All right, chat. Can you hear me? Am I loud and clear? Let me see. Hello. Is that coming in lower? I had to adjust my mic for a second. Hello. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. Hello. Okay, that's loud. Okay, here we go. Thanks for bearing with me. Now, can you hear me? Am I good? Comic Sheik and everyone leaves. What the hell's wrong with you guys? That's some good shit. All right, thank you. 5 times 5. Good. I take knowledge from all level, all different sources, integrate. My degree in college was integral psychology. We take in many different forms of knowledge and whatnot. So let me ask you guys. So the audience, since everyone's here, what's up, Lex? Good to have you. You're back. Let's do this together. Type in the chat right now one phrase you want to remove from your mental vocabulary right now that's not serving you. Right? Thanks, Markella. Type in one phrase that's not serving you. I'm just curious, right? What word or phrase has been keeping you small? I'll share mine. I can't do that. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't like that one. I don't know how to do that. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you, Wicked. A lot of value. This is a high-powered language, man. A lot of power, a lot of high-powered, yeah. I do not know how to do that. I want to get rid of that because how would a better way to be said that, chat? I don't know how to do that. I would say like, I don't know how to do that. I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to adjust my audio levels. I'm learning how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I'm too tired. I like that. I'm too tired. And then we don't like it, but I like how you came up with that. What's a better way to say I'm too tired? I don't think. Like, I gotta go. I'm gonna lay down because I need to get even more energy. I like that. I need to get even more energy. Okay. Help me out with that. I'm too tired. Here's a good one right here. I can't. I see her. I can't. I can't. Smoking spaceman. I can't. No, I can't. Yeah. I can't was my phrase. I can't. I can. I just don't know how to do it yet. Or I'm learning how to do it. Huh? I'm learning how to do it. Yeah. Like my friend used to say, we used to say that that's crazy, that's weird. If something we didn't know about or didn't understand, that's crazy. Or someone we didn't like, that's crazy, right? Now my friend Jeff, he taught me to say, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, unless someone's like literally batshit crazy and you want to get that across, yeah, do that for sure. For sure. But yeah. I can't. I'm too tired. But I push myself to go outside my comfort. Yeah, push myself. Or yeah, I'm gonna push myself outside my comfort zone and fix that window right there. Yeah, I like that. Shout out to Markella. All donations are welcome and greatly appreciated. You can donate by super chat, super stickers, and membership. Buy me a coffee. It's fun. It is fun. Makes me more
Why don't you just take my blood?
Let's see what Bobby Hemming has to say real quick. The black occultist.
Putting all this shit in that you can go to the regular bookstore and buy all that magic. It don't work now because the cycle, this was a lot of stuff was for another cycle. That cycle has changed now. Now the magic is supposed to be mental power where you supposed to not do a practical application, but you supposed to will this shit in the mind.
Will in the mind. And it ain't just the black occultist Bobby Hemming talking about that in Atlanta, Georgia. Schopenhauer in the will, Nietzsche, the will to life. Even a rock has it. the will to power, Nietzsche. Most of us strive for that, right? Not in a mean-spirited way, but just because we want our will expressed. Our will expressed is manifestation here on earth.
So they putting out all of this type of stuff. So when you go back, you be doing these little rituals and shit, and you ain't getting nothing. The key is just to study this to get a affirmation of what your own powers are. So it's like a case study. So you can look at the text and actually see the power in it. So it's more
like he's talking about a book, but like us here as students of consciousness, we watch these videos and hear each other speak, and you hear me speak as a kind of like a, what do you say, an affirmation?
So you can look at the text and actually see the power in it. So it's more of a,
so we can see the power of these videos in the words, right? It's more of a what?
It's more of a study than it is a practical application.
It's more of a study than a practical application, right? It kind of gives you like a template, so then you can do your own work, right? And you can do your own work. Let's see. Smoking Spaceman said, "Batshit crazy is an interesting thing." Yeah, batshit crazy. If you can spend time diving into the mind of a schizophrenic, their mind operates differently. It could heal some things within you. I think, yeah, it goes along to what I've heard about shamans. Sometimes the shaman would take the schizophrenic child and see that as a good thing, and tutor him and mentor him or her, because of the mind of a schizophrenic is different. It can live in two worlds at once, right? At least two worlds. Or I can't do that, or I just listen because. Yeah, I can't do that for sure. I can be like, I'm learning how to do that. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia and shamanism. Mm-hmm. Schizophrenia and spirituality. Uh-huh.
Some cultures, people with schizophrenia believe to have contact with the dead. Have you tried communicating with the entities
You're good,
that
Wheels.
you see?
Love you.
Let's talk about this question. This is kind of a very loaded question. I get a lot of comments, people telling me that I'm a medium, that I'm a psychic, that I'm a shaman, and that other cultures really see me as a higher being. I can't explain to you how hurtful that is to a person with schizophrenia.
Well, I'm trying to give you a compliment, girlfriend. In some cultures, people with schizophrenia are believed to have contact with the dead, and they have tried communicating with that. Okay, that's your opinion, I guess. Maybe because you're thinking that the different realities you're seeing aren't real, and they're not acknowledging that. I think they're just trying to give you a compliment, bro.
I do not enjoy really, without my medicine, having horrible delusions that are paranoid and they make me want to cry and they want to keep me in bed all day and they hurt me and they're painful. And I don't think that is shamanism's psychic abilities. I don't think it's something that's good. I take medicine to make myself not want to die all the time.
Damn.
It's an insult to say that schizophrenia is a good thing. Please stop this. It's hurtful. I don't like it.
I wonder if there's somebody that thinks it's okay. I acknowledge you, sister, for sharing that, but with people like Terrence McKenna saying that it's a good thing in some cultures, yeah, I like to have him talk to somebody like that though. Let's see.
Schizophrenia is just a catch-all term for mental forms of mental behavior that we don't understand. In the 19th century, there was a term melancholia, which we would now call bipolar depression, so forth and so on. But all forms of sadness, unhappiness, maladaptation, so forth and so on, were poured into this label melancholia. Now, schizophrenia is a similar thing. I can remember an experience I had years ago. I was in the Tolman Library at the University of California,
Berkeley,
which is the psych library, and I was looking up some drug or something, and I just saw a book, and I pulled it off the shelf, a book about schizophrenia, and it said the typical schizophrenic lives in a world of twilight imagining, marginal to his society, incapable of holding a regular job. These
yeah, the woman who has schizophrenia, she just said it's like a nightmare.
people live on the fringes, content to drift in their own self-created value system. I said, that's it. That's it. Now I understand.
He wants to be outside of society.
We have no tradition of shamanism. We have no tradition of journeying into these mental worlds. We are terrified of madness. We fear it because the Western mind is a house of cards, and the people who built that house of cards know that, and they are terrified of madness. Tim Leary once said, or I gave him credit for saying, he later told me he never said it, but whoever said it, this was a brilliant statement. Someone once said, LSD is a psychedelic substance which occasionally causes psychotic behavior in people who have not taken it. Right?
Yeah, hallucinations, huh? Let's see what this is a schizophrenic on camera right here. Schizophrenic on camera, talking to herself. The woman we saw earlier.
Just trust me, you'll be fine.
As often as I do, I start hearing voices or seeing hallucinations. They tell me that what I did the day was embarrassing. I should keep my mouth shut for no reason. Damn. Right. That's different than what Terrence McKenna is saying about like hallucinations, or like when you're on psychedelics, is like not putting you down and roasting you. At this point in my schizophrenia recovery, I feel like I can talk back to them and tell. She's talking back right here. Then she's, yeah, okay. That's different. Huh? Let's see her most popular video. I'm just curious. Schizophrenia Concon. We're sitting on the couch. The voices are telling me about how I was fired from an internship that I continued to show up to work to. It's one of the most embarrassing delusions, and I have no idea if it's true. Wow, she doesn't even know if it's true. I can see why she's like, fuck that. Schizophrenia. I mean, it's not a good thing, but I'm just curious about if anyone's had it sounds weird, a good experience with it in terms of, yeah. What's this all about? Yes, well, this is about words or spells. You created your matrix before you were born, and how to escape it, right? You know, words make up this reality. And we were just a little while ago, I asked the chat to put in some words that type in the chat some words you want to remove from your mental vocabulary right now. What word or group of words have been keeping you small, right? I said mine was like I can't do it, right? And I'm trying to flip it into like I'm learning how to do set thing, right? Oh yeah, by the way, thank you, Clue. Thank you, very generous, brother. I heard you on Nightish was reviewing you on that dude, that foundational Black American channel, one of those channels, and you're like, I'm American. I like that. It's 4th of July, Clue. Happy 4th of July, brother.
Thank you all. Your love has broken the curse and freed my soul. I'll never have to kill again. Really?
What's up, Charles Darwin? Good afternoon over there in the lounge down under. It's afternoon over here too, 12:34. And Charles Darwin, Wiccan, Gracie, Clue, all welcome to come up. Right? Build on this. This is a good one. Language, I like it. Lex, yeah, the links in the pinned up. So, oh yeah, baby. Okay, we'll keep it quiet. We'll keep it quiet. We'll keep it quiet for you, Charles Darwin. That says living in a world no one else sees is a nightmare. Yes, in terms of the schizophrenia, highly intelligent people are commonly frustrated with those around them because what comes natural or seems obvious to them is lost on the average person. Yeah, right. And maybe that's part of what some of you guys that are like basically ascended masters here right now. That's your work here, is to, now that you've been there, done that, like I guess I'm a life path 9, is to be able to humble ourselves or at least try to connect and be malleable with these other people's consciousness, or trying to you know what I mean? Just sit with them. That's a good start. That's a good start. The word victim, yeah, victim mentality, yeah. I'm a victim, man. Clue. How could you not see how racist America is? That type of shit when they were saying that yesterday. You know, under the unbalanced Pisces lit, right? How could you not see race is the most important thing for a black man in this world? It's not the most important thing for some of us, dude. Not you, Clue, but the guy you were talking to. I get it. I get it, my friend. Yeah. Back to Jordan. Understanding.
We're here at an alien ET conference. Are they? I mean, they exist and they've been covered.
Oh yeah,
up,
there's no
and
doubt that they
are
exist.
the presence of that going to make a difference with?
I don't want to start any shit because words can, like we said earlier, words can trap you in yesterday's issues, narratives. Nightish. No, he wasn't. He didn't say anything bad about you for sure. I wouldn't let him say anything bad about you. I would have said something because I was in the chat. No, he was just playing when you were the video when you were talking to that guy. He actually was agreeing with you, I think, on most of your points.
It might for you. It might for you if they look at, you know as well as I do. If you walk into a kindergarten and you see all the children playing, they have no idea what's going on in the world. They're little children, right?
Right.
But if one of them happens to be very perceptive,
Yeah.
and is asking you very perceptive questions, you as an adult will say, that kid's smart, right?
Right.
Maybe I'll take an interest in him and find out, more about him and get him into a better school or something.
Right.
That's what obviously the alien presence on the earth is thinking. They're not going to show themselves to the human race. We shoot each other.
Right.
We shoot our presidents.
Right.
We shoot our husbands and wives. We kill everybody.
We shoot the ones we love.
Yeah,
right.
and we
Right.
and so why would any higher intelligence come here and want to show themselves to us? Because we will first of all call the police on them,
Right.
call the authorities and have them arrested, or we will shoot them or throw them into prison. So why would any highly intelligent advanced civilization want to mess with us at all?
Right.
That's why they stay probably out there and watching us. That's what I would do.
What about 2012? Any thoughts about?
If you were an alien, what would you think if you came in us talking about? Well, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be like meta. Like they come in onto our broadcast right here and they hear us talking about like what would they think about our language, what do you think they would think if they heard that this is live? This is Cynthia's panel right now. What would the aliens think when they heard this?
Oh, didn't King Stephen dox you with all the information?
Whatever
That
the
was information that was
terminology
already
is,
on
you
there.
choose to use my real name and associate it with Pornhub and choose to use it in 3 different places and entertain people on your panel that tell people how to find my family on the internet. Whatever you think
that's
you're
not
not
true.
doing, Tarek, whatever you think you're not doing because
That's a
somebody
lie.
else did it before you is fucking bullshit.
You said
Oh,
I'm
Derek's supposed to know your soccer
You
count.
are
We
a
don't have your computer.
dishonorable, incredible man.
Okay.
Period.
No
Period.
problem. You can
Okay.
say what you want.
Okay, no problem.
What would the aliens? What would the aliens think? What would they think, huh? So remember, you don't just arrive. You didn't just arrive here. You spelled yourself into existence. You know, you self-created yourself literally in your mom's womb. You came from your dad's semen, and now it's time to edit the spell. And because reality isn't fixed, the matrix is a mirror, and the pen is in your hand, right? It's your tongue, right? So speak with intention and reclaim your words, and watch how your world changes. Same with an individual with Down syndrome, like the schizophrenic, they see the world differently than others. Yes, they do. They do. Oh gosh, they're still going on about that. Yeah, I mean, it didn't start, but we were doing it over here. We're good on that. When a woman says period, she means it. You know, she's on her period. Clue, why don't you go? Thank you, Wiccan. Hey, Clue, I would love for you to come up. I've been wanting you to come up. I'm too proud to beg, but I do want you to come up, Clue. Sometimes I think a child, this is SS, sometimes I think a child knows more about the world than an adult. The amount of mystics that purge their minds is far less than an adult. I think, yeah, you're right. And because the child was, if there was an other side of the veil, they were here not too long ago, you know, into the other side. Just like a person that's about to die is very close to the other side. But they were literally on the other side. And the more they spend time around most adults, the more they get tainted, their worldview about and their knowledge that they have of the other side and about here gets kind of pushed down and tainted for sure. Yeah. that was funny, huh? Charles Darwin. Yeah. So let's go on this one. He uncovered how simply the world is shaped by our words.
It manifests in subtler ways. Consider, for example, modern psychological manipulation techniques like prosperity psychology or high-pressure sales tactics. These systems promise something irresistible: power over one's destiny, control over others, and access to wealth and success. But if we look closer, what they really do is exploit our deepest desires and often our insecurities. It's not so different from what dark magicians did when trying to control spiritual forces for immediate gain. At their core, these practices operate much like dark magic. They rely on exchanges, time, energy, and even integrity in return for quick results. The idea that one can program the mind or attract wealth as if casting a modern-day spell carries an uncomfortable truth. The cost of this kind of control is often the loss of something essential. Perhaps it's authenticity, perhaps it's inner balance, or maybe it's something harder to name but deeply felt when absent. And it's not just individuals drawn to these practices. Companies, leaders, and entire organizations sometimes adopt strategies echoing the same logic. In the corporate world, for instance, the obsession with controlling outcomes, markets, and even consumer emotions can become all-consuming. Persuasive sales tactics, aggressive marketing, and exaggerated transformation promises are contemporary ways of trying to shape reality, just as the magicians of old performed their rituals. The difference is that today, we don't summon spirits to achieve these goals. We summon data and algorithms and refine psychological strategies.
Facts. Yeah, the fear and desire, right? Marketing of fear. The news. Aliens SS says, here's a thought. Would you would you be more frightened by a Hollywood alien or by a human extraterrestrial from someplace beyond Earth? Probably by a Hollywood alien, to be honest, because a human extraterrestrial from another from some place besides Earth, that would be unless they're like totally deformed. I don't know. That reminds me of, I always bring it back to what's that movie called? Dune. It's like how it's set in the history is 35,000 years, right? It goes over that. Frank Herbert, the author, went over that. Yet everybody's human. There ain't no aliens in the in the book series. So let's see. Who are the strangest people? Oh, probably look at these guys are humanoids, literally humanoids. Space navigators. Navigator. Yeah, these guys are literally these are humans, guys. Let me check this out. And they're Hollywood now, even though it's a book. These are humanoids in the Dune universe.
Human evolution. Space navigate. This is the result of more than 4,000 years of human evolution. Space navigators hold a pivotal role in the Dune universe. They have undergone intense physiological alterations, transforming into beings unrecognizable from their human origins, granting them the power to fold space. However, their unique talent comes with
Fold space means to basically slow down the space-time continuum, kind of like put it on pause, slow motion. So when they drive these big ships through the deepest regions of space and they're in hyperspace going fast, they don't hit rocks or space debris or a planet or another ship. Because in the Dune universe, computers are outlawed. Everything has to be done off the natty. So in order to do that, to fly these big spaceships that are basically the big four-wheelers of space, transporting commerce all over the known universe. These navigators have to take copious amounts of spice, which is basically like DMT, dimethyltryptamine, the God particle, in order to slow down the time. Yet taking so much of this DMT caused him to mutate into these weird forms, right? Vengeful truth there. Oh, yes, my friend. Good to see you, man. Vengeful truth there in the house.
My nigga.
Back to the space navigator.
Granting them the power to fold space. However, their unique talent comes with a heavy cost. They are entirely dependent on the spice melange, a substance found exclusively on the desert planet Arrakis. Spice not only enhances their cognitive abilities, but also prolongs their lives. The appearance of space navigators is shrouded in mystery, as their mutated forms are concealed within tanks of spice gas. Despite their enigmatic nature, the importance of space navigators cannot be overstated, as they are the sole means of safe and efficient
That's a humanoid, guys. Evolved
travel
from his drug abuse
across the universe, ensuring the survival and prosperity of humanity's far-flung civilizations.
People's minds are twisted like that, though, to a certain extent. Because of the things they focus on, you become what your words are, right? Who said this? Let me see. Dude, Charles Darwin's hilarious. I don't care how many testicles you have. You're only supposed to have two, Charles, if you're a man. You can't get by with one, technically. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You're great. Space SS, you're great. We love it. You're on topic. You're locked in. You're giving new you're giving new builds to what's already been seen, yet you're also corresponding from what I'm saying and neatly putting it in a neat package to what you're saying and adding to an equation that's building a house of language, and hopefully will help us become a better human being. Not hopefully. I need to get rid of that word. Hope is dope, right? Weekend. Yes. I keep saying I say hope. Hope is dope. We are building a narrative of a tower to rise our consciousness. Yeah, that's better. Something like that. What it's Charles Darwin. We can't get to the moon or Mars without killing people. If you can do that through the universes, I'm scared. Yeah, it's gonna have to take copious amounts of drugs, probably. Dude, we can't even get an aircraft carrier. A new aircraft carrier is gonna take years for the people to be able to fly the planes off the top of it and land planes on it. People will die just with that, and that's on terrestrial Earth. Yeah. Hope is a horrible thing. Hope is a horrible thing. But sometimes that's all people have. Maybe it's like if you're gonna use it sparingly, like methadone or something like that. Like a transition. Shout out to Wiccan for that. Good evening, Max. How's it going? We're talking about language. Words are spells. You create your reality, basically. Right? You create your reality. I mean, it's common sense, but a lot of folks, they forgot that, and they wonder why they're in the spot they're in.
Spells, hence them being able to be spelled. Then the way we pronounce them can be a spell too, don't? And I think the word Health is such a beautiful word that it shouldn't be
Train your
pronounced
balls, huh?
health. It should be pronounced heal. Because when you say health, you infer the word health. But when you say heal, you infer healing, the word heal. What you feel? Yo, if
Heal.
words
I
are
like that.
spells.
Heal. Hey, Max, what's going on? I hope you don't do this. You say, Jeremiah. I think I've dropped a few donations on your channel. Do you ever do donations? I don't think you ever gave me a donation. Donation. I don't know if you know. Donations are greatly accepted here. So go ahead and give it donations, Max.
Why don't you just take my blood?
Yeah, they don't hurt, man. They don't hurt. Let me see. What else we got? Let me go back to Jordan. Jordan Maxwell. What's he saying?
Entertainment. We're talking about entertainment, Hollywood.
Mayan calendar,
Right.
all that stuff. It's
All
just,
entertainment.
It's just,
Let me
Yeah,
give you this
please.
one quick point.
Yeah.
Western civilization is based on the white man's culture, and the white man's culture comes
Mhm.
from Europe. And
Okay, saying the Western civilization, the Western mind, even is based on the white man, Europeans culture.
the European section of Eastern and Western, well, all of Europe. Europe is a white man's home,
Right.
okay? And for 1,000 years before the Roman Empire ever existed, and it still exists today.
He said you tried to. He said I tried to. Don't take my. Yeah, man, it's weird. Thanks for trying, bro. It's kind of weird. Like some days it'll take my card, sometimes it won't take my card. Then they charge it to my phone bill. Yeah.
In Europe, when Europe is a white man's home,
Right.
okay? And for 1,000 years before the Roman Empire ever existed, and it still exists today in Europe, was a whole system of government, religion, law, etc. was already established before Rome ever came about. And that whole system of government over the white man's world of Europe 1,000 years before Rome was called the Druid system.
The Druid, okay.
Druids. Well, they were the lawyers, the attorneys, they were the judges, the religious leaders, they were everything. The doctors, the medical, everything was Druid in Europe. One of the most important symbols in the Druid religion was a magic wand, like the conductor of an orchestra. You waves his magic wand, and you.
Okay. Vengeful Truth there says we need a cringe. Who is a member? We appreciate you, man. We need a cringe emoji. NPC. I'll look at. Yeah, give me what you think. Or even like for some of the people that come, maybe even I think I might have to get a Max Extreme emoji for sure. He comes over here a lot. He supports in his own way. Oh God. What are we doing?
You had better dance to the tune, because he's the boss.
So the wand.
So the magic wand, like Merlin the magician, were always made. Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood.
Hollywood, okay.
So once you understand, it's the magic of Hollywood that's orchestrating the whole world to dance to a new tune.
Pickles.
So
yeah, like the Grim Reaper, Charles D.
Oh,
wow. So where does that leave us?
It leaves you in a world of trouble. If you are ignorant, ill-informed, and unread, you need to open your mind and discover for the first time that law, courts, education, it's all part of a system. You need to begin to open your mind and study.
And understand.
And how the world really works.
See how it's
And the best way to do that is go onto my website, because I've been doing it for
tell
years.
people your website.
Very simple, jordanmaxwell.com. Jordan, like the river Jordan.
Right.
Maxwell.
It's my brother's name, Jordan. My brother's name is Jordan. Like the river. Let's see. Yeah. You're distracted? You lost your train of thought? What you got? You have something good up here. Let's see. He said you'd be frightened by a human that would burn everything. That would burn everything humans had to be true to the ground. That would shift your paradigm for sure. Charles Darwin. We can't. Oh yeah, we said that one. We can't go to the moon. Creature like a predator. You think so? Yeah. Either way, it's kind of freaky. This is why I loathe talking. You're getting it out now, man. I like it. I mean, it had to be expressed somehow. Think about it. Your language machine is constantly talking as it is. So it's just that you're putting pen to paper or fingers to tablet. Yeah. Bobby Hemmett.
Started letting all that shit out. Don't let them fool you. This shit was dangerous. The white boy wouldn't let it out. You understand? So the key is to get it into the subconscious, other than the technique.
Subconscious mind produces the conscious mind. What goes on? The subconscious mind is the metaphysics that pushes your thoughts into action.
So
there's only one mind, though, probably.
In the book, when I read it to you, this book here deals with the subconscious. On page 2, Philip Cooper's book, Magic, A Study in Effective Magic. So you can also use this in the subconscious, just for, not just magic as far as trying to blow up something, just for shit that you want to deal with and put energy to it, just whether you're on the job or whatever. Somebody fucking with you, or you want to get another promotion. This magic is supposed to be used for everyday life on that level. So therefore, you use it and you will it, and they got to give it to you. You understand what I'm saying? So he goes into the science and he said, well, let me give you a few exercises at the end just to build a psychic laboratory. So he's not necessarily saying you get into all the ritual and all that stuff. He's saying we just give you these exercises so you can know the power of your own mind. But it says, page 2, the subconscious mind is a is a powerhouse, which is inside of you. Anytime you enter subconscious, that means melanin. Dreamland. The subconscious mind is a powerhouse. It creates around us all that it believes to be true, according to the instructions we give it. So if you believe that the white man is God, till you get that shit out of your mind, he gonna be God. And your shit gonna be less. Because your subconscious it's a cosmic computer. And it's only gonna deal with what you tell it. So if you don't change your thinking, you don't get it. You get how this shit go. That's how the world is. The melanin is called the shadow, and the shadow is what? A reflection. It's only a reflection of what your conscience gives it. So I told you I bypassed some other damn zodiacs and shit, and I told myself, hey, I'm the shit.
He said I bypassed the zodiacs, the signs and astrology, which I think it's cool. It's helpful for personality, just deconstruction. He said I bypassed it because I know I'm above that. I'm the shit, which is true, right? Your words that you speak to yourself can go far, right? And we got Markella with the sharing the cringe emoji. Thanks, Markella. That's definitely the cringe right there. The cringe power is very strong, my friends. Yeah, I like that. One mind can intervene with the thoughts of another. That's why I lost my thought. Yeah. If I spent 600 million light years to get to Earth, I'd be fucking with the humans too. I go back home before mommy and monster daddy knew I stole it. That's E.T. That's the story of E.T. Right? That little guy. He was like, "What? What? You know what I mean? Mom, dad, I'm gonna go explore, look for an arcade, take some field samples," and he just left me. Right? Then I have to go ET phone home. You have to replay it. It's important. I have to replay that moment in the future to try to reach the same state and then and search for the words that describe what I want to say. Yeah, that was a good one, Markella. Very good. Yes, you guys make sure you donate, like, subscribe, and share with a friend who's stuck in a word prison. If they're stuck in a word prison, change your mind by changing your language, huh? Yeah. And then I think another thing that needs to be said about all this is Bobby Hemmitt's very wise. Rest in peace, huh? Very wise man. How his work about the subconscious is interesting. So I think another thing that needs to be added on to this is how legal language ties into enslaving you. Could lead to enslaving you, and how you can break free from that. Even like we saw the Sovereign Citizen movie coming out. It's coming out. I don't know, anytime now. We saw the preview, but and we talked about how our words are spells and how language programs are inner reality, how we speak to ourselves. So let's go to an even deeper level. Let's talk about the outside world of government, courts, and systems, and how language is used to govern you without you even fully understanding what's going on, right? And yeah, your brain hurts. Yeah, water. We need water. Water. This live stream is taking the thought of your world, the room spinning around you. Drink water, relax, breathe. I think the biggest thing I've learned from hangovers is dehydration. That's what we're dealing with a hangover. Dehydrated. Your brain's dehydrated. Get some water in there. Peaceful thoughts. AKA prayer. Yes. Self-talks. They're not fun, but they're mirroring something that you have to you have to confront, causing you to sit down and slow down to CD. Yeah, so you can get full understanding, right? So here's the truth: the legal systems are all over the world, and they're built on language you were never taught to understand. Right? Legalese, and it looks like English, sounds like English. However, it's not the English you speak at home. It's spell work for control. Let's break it down. I have to say, Black's Law Dictionary is something to get. Good start. Not getting a hangover is a good place to start. Waken says, I've gotten drunk as a skunk, but never had a hangover. Don't know how they're horrible. Yeah, like that. Markella, shh. Yeah. Oh, that's a good cringe one. The cringe emoji. That's a good one, Wicked. Yeah. So the legalese is the language of authority that the court system uses. They use it for contracts and government documents that have double meaning, right? The double meaning that'll get you. The double speak. And words like person, citizen, and individual don't always mean what you think. For example, in law, a person can mean a corporate fiction or a legal entity, not an actual living soul. We see the words in capital letters on your license or any bill you get. Right? I've heard people go to court with that and say, like, I'm not the person. I'm not the capitalized John Smith. That's not me. Right? That's the corporate version of them or whatever. But it's up to the judge to go along with that or not. So just know what you're getting into when you do that stuff. And when you identify as that corporate entity, the fictional corporate entity, you're unconsciously entering into a contract with the system. The great Paul and Slaves is good at showing this in Wizard and Joe Cool. I've seen it. Like, the language in law isn't meant to inform; it's designed to bind you. That's why it's called jurisdiction. Jurist means law. Diction means word. So you're literally under the spell of someone else's words when you engage with that. And then there's the birth certificate and death certificate, marriage certificate. That's the original contract. And when I say that, I'm like, I would have a question mark. Original contract, because when you're born, your name was written in all caps on your birth certificate. This actually created a legal entity that they call it a straw man that the system can tax and track and charge. And yeah, fuck your headache. Come on, big dog. You're Australian. You taught the world how to rage. Now, I would hope though you don't drink too much though. I know you have fun with it, and you're funny as hell. But we like you sober too. Yeah. So fuck your headache. The piece of shit, Charles Darwin. So the real you is not a piece of paper. The real you is a living soul, not a legal fiction. That's how language tricks you into being governed. How do you break this legal spell? Well, step one, know the game. Understand that the system tries to run everything, and the system runs on consent. And if it's uninformed consent, you're probably in trouble. You're behind, right? And when you understand the terms, you can start to ask better questions like, am I being compelled to act as a legal fiction, or is this contract or an offer? Right? Ask questions. There's the sober me. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to remote view. Shout out to Max Vision, the sober version of CD. There's a thought that here's a thought: all fees paid to the government are admission of guilt and fines for something that the government deems illegal. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You're agreeing to that, right? It's our prerogative to do that. They're not forcing you to do it, but it definitely puts you in a spot though to choose. I think most people agree with it out of ignorance, and also the people that do know about this stuff, they do it with convenience. They don't want to deal with, as they say, the hassle of it, guys. They're like, I'm good. Where's this shit I'm trying to do? Oh, I see. Hold on. I've been running around fire.
However, the intention remains the same: to shape the external world to fit our desires, often without considering the broader impact. What do we lose in the process? What do we sacrifice when we seek control over others and ourselves? The most intriguing aspect is how these practices manage to attract so many. Just like the dark magic of the past, they offer seductive promises, wealth, power, and instant happiness. But what do they really deliver, and what price are we willing to pay? It's a question worth reflecting on. At its core, the connection between these modern practices and the ancient forms of dark magic reminds us of something fundamental about human nature. Our tendency to seek shortcuts to success can lead us down dangerous paths, even when those shortcuts seem perfectly acceptable on the surface. And, like the ancient magicians, we end up discovering that total control is often an illusion.
Yeah.
But there's another side to this story, a path that doesn't seek manipulation, but harmony. Some see power not as something to be conquered, but as something to be understood and balanced. While the pursuit of power and control dominates much of human history, there is another path, one that does not see the universe as something to manipulate, but as something to collaborate with harmoniously. This is where ceremonial magic finds its highest purpose.
Which is what?
As a means to explore the unseen world with respect, responsibility, and ethical intent.
Okay, that's a good way. I call it treading lightly. Yeah. Language, Grace is a language changed over time, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, so on. Yeah, it's always changing. Constantly changing. We use other people's languages that get added on to English. Yeah, English is cool. People say like, "Oh, it's just the most rudimentary form," and you know, it is what it is. It's a business language too. So know your business, know the law, and so you can reclaim your status. You can choose to identify as a living man or a woman, not a corporate entity, by studying the difference of what those things are. You know, and moving accordingly. Right? Yeah. Jordan Peterson went over the maritime law. Know the difference between maritime and admiralty law and situational law. I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah. So what's the difference between maritime law, and Admiral T law? Jordan, I don't know what Jordan Peterson has to say. Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell. Okay, here we go. Oh, you just heard this one. We heard that one. Let's see what he has to say right here.
In America, money goes through your hands like water. No, money is water. Maritime Admiralty Law of England. The law of the sea is the law of banking. Banking law is referred to as the law of the sea. Therefore, let me explain to you. When a ship pulls into harbor, we may have talked about this before, but it's important, so we need to hear it again.
Dude.
When a ship pulls into a harbor, first of all, you need to understand, according to international law, all ships are female. There is no such a thing as a male ship. All ships by law are female.
And when you're born, your mother's your ship, your vehicle into this reality.
That's why you will hear captains say she's a good ship and she's been seaworthy. She's this and she's that. All captains will refer to their ship. Rocket ship, sailing ship, doesn't matter what kind of airship. The captain calls his plane she. She's a good ship. She's seaworthy. Why? Because all ships by law are considered female. Reason why? Because all ships, any kind of a ship, delivers a product. And so the idea goes back into the ancient world of Sumeria, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, where the idea was the male manufactures, but the female produces the product. So therefore, we humans were manufactured, but your mother was in labor and in the delivery room because she was building a product
and giving birth
to a product. Therefore, when a ship pulls into a harbor, she parks at the dock. And where she parks at the dock, she ties off a rope onto the dock to hold her in her berth. Every item coming off of that ship from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world, doesn't matter. We're talking business. We're talking banking. Any item on that ship coming off that ship must have something called a certificate of manifest, because yesterday the ship wasn't here, but today we come to work and there's a ship here from Japan or from China with $800 million worth of televisions or whatever. So it has manifested. $800 million worth of business is waiting for you at the dock.
Betsy.
So therefore,
He
every
said all
item
ships.
coming off that ship.
Vengel, you can call him Bert. It's a land vehicle, but I get you. I call my my Forerunner, Toyota Forerunner, Santana. It's like a last name, but used to have a Dodge Intrepid called Uncle Al.
Because it's manifested, must have what is called a certificate of manifest, meaning every piece coming out that ship has to be accounted for. How much does it weigh? What color was it? Does it have 4 doors, 2 doors? Air conditioning? No. What color? And so every item coming off the ship must have its own certificate of manifest. Why? Because it was brought in, she brought it in on water, and she is in her berth. So therefore, each item has to have what is called a birth certificate, a certificate of manifest, because she is sitting in her berth, B-E-R-T-H, a birth certificate. Therefore, when your mother gave birth to you, you came down her birth canal when her water broke.
And therefore, you come out into the world as a maritime admiralty product. You came out of water down the
Came out of
canal.
water. You hear that?
Therefore, you have to have a birth certificate, a certificate of manifest. Because last night you weren't here. This morning you're here. You manifested. So we got to know, how much did you weigh? The hospital has to say how much you weigh. What color was he? Did he have 5 fingers? Yes. Why? Because you are considered a maritime admiralty product, because she was in labor building you after your father manufactured. So once you begin to see how the commercial world works, you are nothing more than a product, a maritime admiralty product.
You're a product. To who? To the government? To the Anunnaki? To the false sense of self? The vengeful truther says pirate ships were not always female names. They have clever names. Yeah. Tell me one. A clever name. Oh, the Jolly Rogers. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I get you. I get you, my friend. Yeah, it's become a hassle when one changes one word. Yeah. Angie spent SS says Angie spent on anything else is scumbagging to entropy. Yeah. Succumbing to the entropy. The purpose of life or existence is negative entropy, resulting in survival. Otherwise, why exists? Yes, we're going to come back to that one for sure. Yeah. SS says at NBC, just wanted to say I appreciate this streaming topic. It's rare that I come across something that triggers thought and allows my true participation. Well, yeah, dude, I'm loving it, man. I'm happy for you, and from a selfish perspective, I'm happy for myself. I'm learning a lot from you, and so is the chat. All right, we'll give back.
Be bought and sold, and therefore you have to have a birth certificate. Now, if you're taking one of those cars or TVs off of the ship and it drops down accidentally and breaks, you just lost money. You can't sell that one and make any money off of it. That's okay. Things like that happen. Okay. And there's no problem with that in commerce. If you break something, it's no problem. We take that off of our taxes. There's a loss. But you have to have a death certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be signed by the doc. Why? Because that's what the damn thing fell and broke, was at the dock. So the doc has to sign the birth certificate.
Damn.
And if you die there, then he has to sign the death certificate. And we better make sure that the doctor is not lying about the death certificate. Because if you're lying about the death certificate, that's prison time for a doctor. You don't want to lie. Did this person, was he born dead? Yes. Prove it. Sign the paper and put your life on the line as a doctor and tell me that this person died at birth. And if we find out you're lying,
okay, motherfucker. CD says, as a man, I'm a man. I enjoy the discussion, but I stand on the doctor with a sledgehammer if someone tries to harm the cargo. You're gonna knock him out like Peter Gabriel sledgehammer? Visual Truther says, I probably said, no, we got you. I understand what you mean. A few gummies. Save some for me, TVT. Come on, bro. Uh-huh. So I'm glad you feel that way. Me too, Gracie Gray.
Because now he doesn't have to pay taxes. He doesn't have to be under government control. He's totally free because we don't know anything about him. And we find out you're lying.
The doctor?
That's a felony for doctors. You go to jail for that. So therefore, doctors will have to sign your birth certificate. They have to sign your death certificate. Why? Because you are a maritime admiralty product. Your mother created you. After you were manufactured, you were created, and she was in her labor. She was in labor in the delivery room because she was delivering you as a product. And that's why in your birth certificate on the bottom, on the right-hand bottom of the birth certificate, where your mother or father signed, look at it. Look on the birth certificate. It doesn't say mother or father. It doesn't say parent. Where your mother and father signed, it says informant. Your mother and father was informing the corporation that the new television has just arrived in America, or a new car, a new automobile has just arrived that you didn't know about. So it's called an informant. Now, on the left side of your birth certificate, on the very bottom, you will see in small print, the birth certificate is the property of the United States Commerce Department, Department of Commerce. Why? It's because your birth certificate is a commercial document. It's on actual banking paper. It's on banking paper. It's considered a stock, just like a stock certificate. So once you understand that you are, that's why if you say, if your son's getting married or your daughter's getting married and she's marrying a very wealthy, marrying into an extremely wealthy family, we say, well, her fiance she's marrying, he's of good stock. What do you mean? She's marrying a pig or marrying a horse? No, because all humans are considered stock. That's why if you're going to, it's an incredible story about how we are maritime admiralty stock. We are like a stockyard. That's why when we were growing up as kids in America, all houses and homes always had a yard, a front yard and a backyard. That's for your children to play in because it was a.
You say it's like no mystery. It's not. That's because it's like anybody can find that out with the right eyes. Vengeful truther. It's not a mystery that countries are corporations and we are money on the stock market. But it's like nobody really talks about that shit, bro. I mean, like with your uncle, with your cousins, with your husband and wife, your kids, your coworkers. Unless they're like part of our tribe, they don't really talk about it. Maybe it's because on one level they don't want to know too much because it'll freak them out. Or then the other level, which I think is more like they have no idea because they never questioned. They never woke up. Wake, like they said earlier, awake means when you're dead, right? They never woken up from the dead paradigm of reality they had. It's wild when you really think about it. Stakeholders, yes, stock, yeah, stakeholders. Absolutely. You got to keep your stock happy as possible. You guys are getting it.
Stockyard. And we still have stockyards today. That's why you're creating a product for the commercial world that we live in. And so to protect the product, you give them a backyard to play in. So it's called a stockyard.
So as soon as we're born, we are signed over to the United States or whatever country we live in.
That's right.
To our government.
Canada. That's right. And they own your body.
Are we signed over to the government or the country?
Well, the government is the country. The government.
So the United States of America, let's say?
No, not to the United States of America. No, you're signed over. When you're born here in this country, you're signed over to the United States. Not the United States of America.
Well, what's the difference?
The difference between the sun and the moon, between
sun and the moon. One is the sun, and one is the moon. United States of America is that the sun, and the United States is that the moon.
And dry, between up and down.
Right.
Opposites. Well, there's a big difference between United States.
Come on, Jordan.
Or United States of America. Doesn't mean the same thing at all. United States of America is one thing. United States is totally different than the United States of America. That's the point that most people don't know anything about. So when you use the term United States, you're not talking about the United States of America, the 50 states in the federal union. United States is not the 50 states. United States is a totally different entity completely. United States of America was founded in 1776 as a constitutional republic, but that was done away with in 1871. We're no longer living in the United States of America. As of 1871, we are now living in something called the United States. This is why once a year, United States is considered not a country. United States of America is a country. It's a confederation of states, which we call the federal enclave, the federal states, the federal republic. But United States by itself is a company, it's a corporation incorporated in 1871. A group of men got together after the Civil War and incorporated a company.
In Delaware.
Well, anyone can form a corporation. Anybody.
So we could have done it.
You can form a corporation. But if you form a corporation, then you are now under corporate law. You can't do certain things you could do as an individual. Now you're a corporation. But of course, you get certain perks as a corporation too. So there's some good and there's some bad. There's some up and there's some down. Now certain things you can do now as a corporation you couldn't do as by yourself. So corporation is a business. Well,
it's a corporation is a business, right? Government, country, we are the people. You're owned by people around you. It what bonds you to one another. We're bonded to each other as countrymen and women. TVT says you are assigned over to the government when you're born, and your parents are given the responsibility of raising you. But the government basically owns your ass. That's the hard truth, brother.
Well, anybody can form a corporation, but if you form a corporation, as I said, you're under corporate law, which means the first thing right off the bat is that you have to have, according to corporate law, a president of the corporation.
Okay.
You also have to have, according to the law, a vice president of the corporation. And you also have to have a secretary treasurer. At least those three things you have to have if you're going to have a corporation. So today we have a president, we have a vice president, we have a secretary treasurer.
Yes, it brings up a good point. TVT says it might be less so in the U.S. because of the Constitution. Shout out to the Constitution. And you need to know cursive, young fellas and ladies, Ben and friends, so you can read that Constitution. Sherelle Snow reminded us. It makes the U.S. unique. USA unique. The rest of us are full. Yeah. While you're full, all donations are welcome and greatly appreciated. You can donate by super chat and super stickers and membership and buy me coffee and one-on-ones on memberships.
Why don't you just
For example,
take my blood?
words of love and gratitude can make you and those around you feel words of love and gratitude can make you and those around you feel lighter and happier, while words of anger or fear can have the opposite effect, creating tension and discomfort. But remember, it's not just about the vibration that each word carries with it, but the feeling that is in us when we pronounce it. The third concept is that of manifestation, which is the process by which intentions and thoughts become reality. In the context of the power of words, manifestation explains how the words we choose to use can influence what happens in our lives.
Yes, manifestation. We manifested $5, Canadian dollars. Cheers, bro. Thank you, Vengeful Truth. You're very generous. You do your part. You're very generous with that. I appreciate it. You manifested, right? Words that are manifest. You manifested, huh? You manifested.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or kiss it or bow or what. I feel like breakdancing.
Manifest. We manifested it, yeah. Shout out to Ben. Look at Ben. I think he was like 2 years old right there. 3 years old, right? And there was that Master Farad Muhammad. On the bottom, they got that part. They got that part. Oh, shout out to the panel versus my homie over there. I think he's in the wilderness of North America. Hit that like button, support the show. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you, man. How's the puppies, man? Hope everything's doing good. Yeah. Thank you for that. Words we manifest, right? Manifest. That's the song I was playing earlier. Yeah. Gangsta. Behind enemy lines, huh? We manifest.
I profess and I don't jest, cause the words I manifest, they will take sedation. And I will stress upon Jews and need for you all to feed your minds and souls, so you can lead yourselves to be. I got a real objective here. I am effective here, cause I select a clear method for all suckers I maul and fall wrong into the pit of purgatory.
Into the pit of purgatory, huh? We straight up control, straight up. We've controlled bow. Yeah. I know, man. I mean, it's interesting enough. The Canadians showed us what was up, how to stand up for ourselves in general during the trucking strike. That was awesome. Surprised a lot of Americans that aren't familiar with Canada and whatnot. Yeah, that was awesome. So words can influence what happens in our lives. Love. We need love, love, love. Crazy love.
By expressing our thoughts and desires in a clear and focused manner, we are shaping reality to reflect those intentions. This process takes time and often requires patience, repetition, and belief. Manifestation through words can involve the practice of positive affirmations, prayers, or the declaration of intentions during rituals. All these acts help to solidify the intention and guide the energy in the desired direction. To become more aware of the transformative power of our words, it is essential to start a process of reflection and observation.
Okay, let's do that right now. Reflection, observation. I'm observing and going to reflect what SS said, what all you guys are saying, was particularly this. She said, I don't know. APC, love is an illusion to distract from intention. Yeah, because love is such the word, like in the English language, there's only one meaning per se, really. Where the Greeks had different types of love. Agape, like all that passionate love, all that stuff, right? Different types of love. Intention. What is intention? What is the definition of intention, guys? Intention. Meaning. Intention, meaning, huh? Let's see.
Intention. The course of action that a person intends to follow.
Of course.
The goal or purpose behind a specific action or set of actions. Tension, straining, stretching. INTEN.
Okay. The goal, the goal or purpose behind a specific action, right? Or set of actions. So you say love is maybe a distraction of that meaning of love. I don't know what Jordan Peterson says, but yeah.
Love. Strong affection, an intense feeling of affection and care towards another person, a deep or abiding liking for something, a profound and caring attraction towards someone. The object of one's romantic feelings, a darling or sweetheart. Love synonyms: baby, darling, lover, pet, sweetheart, honey, lovebird, mate, lover, darling.
Yeah, we get it. Okay. Jordan Peterson on love.
That love, in some sense, is the grace of God. Is that if you're in a relationship with someone that's characterized by love,
Canuck.
You see each other in some deep sense, and you can't see other people like that because you don't have the ability. But it's not like the love is a delusion; it's the opposite of a delusion.
Exactly, and that's the interesting thing. What they're robbing people of is the most beautiful thing, which is the ability to emote for somebody else, and to invest yourself in something.
Well, and also to live in that condition. I mean, if you're around someone that you love, and that love defines the relationship, there isn't any better thing you can do.
No.
And so then to minimize that, to call it some sort of biological or biochemical aberration, which is the worst form of unconscionable reductionism, is to reduce the highest possible goal to something that's nothing but like a trivial consequence of some underlying materiality. It's appalling.
Yeah,
and it's really demoralizing.
God is love.
I've thought too that love in some sense is the grace of God, you know.
The grace of God. You guys got it. I see a lot of intersections and people resonating with each other on panel, in the chat, in these videos. Humans use love in the wrong way. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do we're gonna do a stream. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat, if a 2 in the chat if you think we should go over the basics of love. Because we throw that word around so much. So much we throw that word love around. And when in fact we don't even, not only do we not practice it, really, a lot of people in general, correctly, a lot of us don't even theorize it on it, right, correctly. So let's do, what do you guys think? Put a 2 if we think we should do a love basics of love stream. Yeah. I think that'd be fun. I think that would be cool. I like that. Let's go over a couple more things before we close it down.
This begins with self-observation. We need to dedicate a moment of our day
I like that one too,
to reflect on the interactions we've
Gracie
had,
Gray,
questioning whether our
that's a 2 from Vengeful Truther, Gracie Gray. Yeah, I like that. Or the concept of love. Yeah. SS says the concept of love is complex. English language does not contain the word to address. Yeah, it's pretty limiting. I'm sure German always does good with those compound words and definitions. We can always go back to the Greek ones, like I said, the Latin versions of different meanings of love.
our words were light or shadow in the lives of others. But how can words become powerful tools of invocation and co-creation of reality? The answer may lie in an ancient treatise called De Radius Stellarum, or On the Stellar Rays. The work is an apocryphal treatise attributed to Al-Kindi, an Arab philosopher and scientist of the 9th century. The text develops the theory that all things in the world emit rays that act upon all other things. This theory produces an interaction of causes and effects from the stars to material objects. For Al-Kindi, words are more than sounds. They possess virtues, power, and sensus meaning. They influence both the material and spiritual world. The meaning of a word, therefore, is not just a social construction, but rather a cosmic force with which we resonate. By pronouncing a word, we release that force. That's why words can heal, hurt, inspire, and even change the course of history. Every word spoken exerts some kind of effect on matter, although we may not always perceive these effects with our senses. This suggests a view of the universe where everything is interconnected through a network of subtle influences and where words act as catalysts or conductors of these forces. Another understanding of the power of words is based on the thought of Neville Goddard and his teachings on the law of assumption. According to this...
Okay. Neville Goddard is great. It's a better job addressing, but I think it's still, yeah, you only can point at it, maybe. That's the best we can do. Yeah. Check out some of these. They're killing me with the girls are killing me with the with these emotes. I gotta load them in. Okay, we already saw that one, the cringe one from Markella. This one, Time Out. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Shh. Keep it down. Keep it down, right? Yeah, that's cool. NPC. I gotta love that one right there. That's a beauty right there. Yeah. This is a classic one. What do you guys think this was? This definitely needs to get in there, huh? The Max Extreme one, huh? Can you guys see that one? Yeah. That's funny. Good work. Very good, man. Very creative. Max Extreme. That is. Did you put that on there, Markel, in the shirt? Ha! Max Extreme. Yo, oh man, he might have to use that for himself. Yeah, like this one was dope, right? So we already saw this one. This is super dope here. Literally, Hope is dope. And then we got that one. That's a super cringe, super metallic cringe, right? Super metallic cringe. For $20, you can have it, right? You can have it, yeah. Yeah, that's a fucking funny. So funny. You guys are silly. Very, very talented and creative too. Our community is great. The TVT says love is meant to be. I think when you care about something unconditionally, it is not dependent on worthiness or actions. Yeah, when you care about something unconditionally, yeah, it's like my son, man. There's a new movie coming out. Like, oh man, it was a lot of these movies from A24 Studios, I think it's called. They're fucking tearjerkers, right? What's it? Julia Louis Dreyfus new movie. Julia Louis, Louise Dreyfus. Her new movie looks insane. Let's see. Her new movie, a tearjerker. No, this is Unconditional Love. Y'all gonna. She's been in a couple movies lately. Yeah, this Tuesday one that's called Tuesday. Well, it came out a year ago, huh? Tuesday, is that? Where it shows the bird at the end. Check this out, guys. I was losing my shit watching these trailers. This is love.
I just don't think you understand how Tinder works. Can I tell you something? I know exactly how Tinder works. Then you don't understand how
Mother-daughter movie. We can be just any child.
flirting works.
A sick child is one of the worst feelings. Markella knows. A lot of us know. Some of us know, yeah. Or losing a child or granddaughter. Shout out to my angel who passed away.
How do you think you got here? It hurts. Where, honey? Everywhere.
Unconditional love.
Unique. You made my head silent.
Who are you talking to? Can you please just come out so she can see you?
Madam, you need to say goodbye to your daughter.
You need to say goodbye to your daughter.
You have to get strong now. I can't. You can. And you have to let me help you.
Life, every life ends.
I felt the pain that you have. I don't know what I am without you, who I am without you. I don't know what the world is without you in it. I love you more than anything in the whole world. You'll be okay. Promise. Promise. Promise, promise. Promise, promise.
He needs real reassurance.
The echo you leave, the legacy, your memory is how she lives.
The memory, what did he say?
How she. The echo you leave, the legacy, your memory is how she lives.
Promise to echo. You leave the legacy. Your memories, how she lived. Okay. Tuesday. Yeah, these movies are all like fucking. They're all like tearjerkers and shit nowadays on this this studio. Was it 24A? What is it?
I just don't think you understand how Tinder works.
A24. That's the name of that company. This shit's crazy, bro. There's a lot of these movies. We might have to just go over these all these movies are coming out, bro. I was like, just like a couple months ago, I was telling Miss NPC, like, there's no good movies because we like to go on Tuesdays when my day is off. But he's like, shit, bro. It's like a grip of these good movies, and the cinematography is amazing too. That's that movie Tuesday that came out last year. Christ loves education. Best to compare what love is on example. Yes, it is. I miss Marquez. I miss my granddaughter so much and would love to have her just one more day with her. One more day, huh? One more day. Yeah. I feel you, Markella. Sorry for your loss. This is why DVDs are king. Yeah, you know, now it's like digital, digital on your TV, you can store them. I know it's the hard copy is probably the best, but once again, the convenience that they make it so you can even get these new movies on YouTube and other streaming services as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good to watch, dude. Gracie Gray. I think it would be good to watch. There's a couple other ones too. Thank you, Markella. Thank you. There's one more. I don't know about this one. Should I show you that one? Now we'll go over it. We'll go over the other movies this week. But yeah, we were talking about unconditional love. That is like I was thinking of Ben in the sense that dude, I love that man so much. That boy, that young man, more than anything. I love my wife too, almost more than anything. But like the Ben, whew, don't get me started. So here, before we go, I want you guys to remember we already did the exercise about words we want to remove, right? Mine was like I can't. Right, I want to change it to I'm learning to. Right, here's 7 words that Rastafarians don't say. Words are spells, words are sounds, words are power. Right, take the word words and put the S in front of the word, the W. You get sword. Right.
Naya Bingi man, a Bobo man, 12 tribe man, ancient man, shouldn't say. Linguistic language latitude. Word
Do it for
sounds
you.
power. So be careful of words that you say because they can bring spells to you and to your family. Linguistic language latitude.
Oh, that's sad.
Citation of Jamaican I, Rastafari, I and I in Belize. Number 1, we greet ones and say hello. Hell is low.
Hello, hell is low, right? We say Grand Rising, or I like what the Australians say. Shout out to Lady Luck and them, and CD. We say good day, good day.
Why we can't say greetings or my beloved, blessed. Number 2, appreciate. In the same word song you have heat.
I say I appreciate, like I appreciate you.
Why can't we say appreciate love or love appreciate? Appreciate love, love appreciate, not appreciate. Number 3,
love appreciate. I have to go back on that one.
Appreciate love or love appreciate. Appreciate love, love appreciate, not appreciate. Number 3, morning. In the same word, why can't we say morning? Why?
Yeah, because morning is when you're sad, right? You don't want to start off your day like that.
Why we say morning? We're mourning for someone dead. We must say grand rising, grand rising.
Greetings, yeah.
Number 4,
oh, wow.
dedicate. In the same word, You hear the pronunciation dead.
Dead. Yeah, dedicate. Die.
And we want to create something where we can enlighten or uplift one. So we say livicate or
Livicate. I livicate this to the chat with love. My outro song. And this whole stream.
I as idicate, livicate, not dedicate. 5. Uppers. In the same word song like UP up. But at the same time, we create a word song as don't press. We say don't press her, like Peter say, don't press a man. Right? 6th word, sincere, sincerely.
Sincerely. Sin. A sin is when you miss the mark, right? Sin is when you miss the mark, right? Yeah. What's this? Take your son to TVT says, take your son to How to Train a Dragon. Yeah, that's a good one. I saw that one. I saw the preview for that one. It looked good. Yeah, for sure. Greetings. That's a good one to say. Yeah. What's up, Martha? Can you know what's up? You see this? You see. Huh? Can she train me the right dragon? You gotta ask her. Don't be creepy about it. You may need help before you do that, CD. We're gonna do a Riz show, how to Riz her up, even after a car accident.
In the same word song, you hear the word sin. I sincerely or I sincerely instead of sincerely. Sincerely or I sincerely. Number 7, understand. We always have to be under. Negative.
Over or
under.
Inner.
We must say over or overstand. Overs or innerstand or overstand. 7 words. Rasta man, Rasta woman, Rasta family shouldn't say within their surrounding linguistic language latitude. So tune in to Lion Eye View TV.
Okay, we got you.
Subscribe and share. Give thanks for the listeners, for those that tune in from this day forth and forevermore. Yeah? Rastafari.
Peace. Yeah, we're gonna give him the Rasta man. I'm sure he has some other good stuff. We're gonna lock in his channel. Like that's some old world wisdom. Not that he's old, but old man wisdom, right? We can do all the philosophy we want about the nature of reality, but this is like real anecdotal slice of life knowledge that we can use here and now. Mundane knowledge. Yeah, everyone be sure to hit the button, the like button, turn on all the notifications, share. We love all that stuff. Yeah. We love all that stuff. Yeah. We got any more? Yeah. But yeah. Well, I'll add some more stuff about how to escape the trap that some of you guys put yourself in with your words. So when someone tries to you first of all use clear, powerful language, and when someone tries to trap you with your words, ask for definitions, right? Ask for clarification. I use affirmation words that protect my sovereignty. Or if you're especially with the police, for example, you can always say, "I don't consent. I'm a living being, not a legal entity." Now you can do all this, but remember, you're probably going to get pushback because other people have been trying this on the police, or they're ignorant to it. It depends on you. A lot of people just consent because they're like, "Fuck it, I don't have time for to fight it or whatever." And I'm not going to call someone a slave for that and all that, but it's your prerogative. There's cause and effect to everything you do. So just remember, like when we say words that are spells, we don't just mean in poetry or in conversation. We mean in the actual laws that shape our world, and your ability to name yourself, speak clearly, and to know the game's being played with words. That's where real freedom begins, right? the first chains were not mental; they were words. We created. Remember, I said we created our world. We created our mama matrix before we were born. We co-created with the Most High. We use language, right? Words. Words can be keys, though, of those chains, and open that lock. So learn the language of law and start seeing how free you already are, because everyone's free. To be honest, to keep it 100, we're all enlightened already. It's just a matter of if we see it or not, right? So I don't know, guys. Have you ever read a contract or form and felt that like it was written to confuse you on purpose? Drop a 4 in the chat if that's the case. If you ever felt that legal language trap before. Yeah, I've seen it before. He said, "Hell yeah, I've seen it." Yeah. But there's a way to unlock it. Gotta hit the sheets. NPC clear. Yeah, I gotta hit it. I'm gonna hit the sheets too. Simple question. Yeah, why did you stop me? For sure. For you seen it. You guys have seen it all. Y'all see it. Yeah. Why did you stop me, man? Yeah. Yeah. The amount of respect from a legal is immense. So always address using sir and miss followers by name, or group, or ladies, or gentleman language we use in important society, and the one self that was the most realized today. It's very important to do that, right? So I definitely think that when you start doing that, even in the broadcast, even supposed ops on the broadcast, I would use ma'am, sir. The great radio host Star in the Morning, he's great at that. Calls everyone sir, ma'am, sir, sir, sir. So one last time for today anyway. We like donations. Don't get twisted.
Come on.
Why don't you just take my blood?
Just take the blood. Just take it and go. Just take it and go. So I want you guys to thank you for being here, guys. It's been fun. TVT, get some sleep, everyone. Be easy. Just remember, reality isn't fixed. The matrix is a mirror, and the pen is in your hand, and your tongue is a sword. Right? Speak with intention. Like I said, speak with intention. Right? And watch how your world changes when you do. It'll lock you out of that so-called matrix. Markella, thank you to all the vets for their service, for sure. Marathon Kev and all the boys and women. We appreciate you. Happy birthday, Mama. It's still it's her birthday over there in the wilderness of North America, or it was the other day, July 3rd. Happy birthday, Mom. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on that basic love. I think we're gonna do the love basics stream. Basics of love. Gracie Gray with the 4. You've seen it. Yeah. Happy birthday, America. I like that. Happy 4th of July, America. And stay out the trap. You know, you can be trapping, but at least know that you can get out at any time. Shout out to Johnny Cash and Merle Hager. Love you.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.